Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Tens of thousands of Florida residents returned to their homes Tuesday in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma. Many found their homes in a shambles and without electricity and running water. Most are relieved volunteers from around the country are coming in to help. And thankful Operation Blessing is there to give them some basic necessities of life and hope. Our Gary Lane is there with more.
Long lines of cars jammed Highway 1 as Florida Keys residents returned to their homes for the first time since Hurricane Irma battered southern Florida with destructive Category 4 winds. 1/4 of the homes in the Keys no longer exist. In northeastern Florida, people were trying to recover from floodwaters.
This is Jacksonville's popular Riverwalk area. People enjoy coming down here and seeing a nice skyline view, maybe conversing with friends and family along the river, but not on this day. Take a look at the St. Johns River. People say it has overflowed its banks. It's about 6 feet above normal. It's flowed into this area, popular statue known as the Sailor's Statue. Everyone in Jacksonville knows this. But less than 24 hours ago, this water washed up to these buildings and throughout the streets of downtown.
This is how the streets of downtown Jacksonville looked Monday morning. For most Floridians, electricity is the immediate concern as they return to their homes. Millions are still without power. Crews from 30 states, utility workers like this from New York, are volunteering their time so Floridians won't have to sit in the dark or suffer through 90-degree heat without air conditioning. These guys jumped at the chance to return a favor to Florida.
We're also excited about kind of repaying back some of the utilities that helped us along Superstorm Sandy in 2012.
We caught up with Florida Senator Marco Rubio in Jacksonville as he toured the state assessing the damage. What stood out as he surveyed the destruction? The unique size and scope of Hurricane Irma.
Usually when someone has a hurricane hit a state, you wonder what city. You know, did it hit Miami? Did it hit Tampa? Did it hit Jacksonville? And the answer is yes, it hit them all.
The Florida senator appeared appreciative of first responders.
What were you praying, and what is your prayer now?
Well, obviously I was praying that it would turn off and go somewhere else. My second prayer, obviously, was that if it were going to hit us, that it would not be the worst case scenario. I also prayed for the people responding, the people that were out there in the water, pulling people out, risking their own lives, who were working 24-hour shifts while their family were behind, also weathering the storm. Those are the people I hope will continue to remember and treasure for what they did for us.
These residents hard hit by the hurricane were grateful for the help they received from CBN's Operation Blessing. Tuesday, the OB team spent the day in Naples, providing people with food, water, and hygiene supplies.
As you can see behind me, we're at Meals of Hope, and this truck is being unloaded. And as this truck is being unloaded, there's residents standing here waiting for food, water, personal hygiene items.
This Naples resident said many people are stuck inside their homes without food or water.
We got an alert on Facebook through Collier County that Operation Blessing was giving away food at 3 p.m. I'm like, wow, it's actually giving us food, water. It's giving us a sign of hope that at least somebody's out there looking up for us, you know. We're not in this alone.
Gary Lane, CBN News, Jacksonville, Florida.
The White House is ramping up efforts to pass a major overhaul of the tax code. Last night, the president had dinner with a bipartisan group of senators to talk taxes, and his administration is revealing a strategy that tries to avoid the mistakes made in attempting to repeal and replace Obamacare. Heather Sells is on that story.
The president is planning aggressive travel to build support early for tax reform. The plan: visit up to 13 states in the next 7 weeks and make the case for lower rates, a simpler tax code, and incentives for multinational corporations to bring home profits that are stashed overseas. The strategy also involves visiting states where a Democratic senator is up for re-election next year. The president has already tested this strategy with trips to Missouri and North Dakota.
The taxes are crazy. The highest taxed nation in the world. We're going to turn that around very quickly.
Last night, the president held a bipartisan working dinner to promote his tax reform. He invited 6 senators, including 3 Democrats, Joe Manchin, Joe Donnelly, and Heidi Heitkamp. The dinner could boost their 2018 campaigns as the president easily won in each of their states. President Trump also met Tuesday with his economic advisors to hammer out details, but no specific numbers have emerged. Congressional Republicans are promising that the tax rewrite will be, quote, revenue neutral and not add to the nation's debt. The president promises that it will be straightforward.
We need a tax code that is simple, fair, and easy to understand.
He's also calling for major cuts for middle-class families. And both the president and House Speaker Paul Ryan are promising significant cuts for American businesses.
And when we tax our businesses in America at much, much higher tax rates than our foreign competitors tax theirs, they can price us out of the market.
Republicans hope to rewrite the tax code by the end of the year. If not, the Treasury Secretary says they may make tax cuts retroactive to the start of this year. Heather Sells, CBN News.
The Supreme Court ruled in favor of President Donald Trump's travel ban, at least for now. The court overturned an appeals court ruling allowing refugees to enter the country if they had been promised assistance from resettlement agencies. The ruling affects some 24,000 refugees seeking entry into the U.S. In October, the court will order broader arguments against the travel ban. The policy forbids people from 6 mostly Muslim nations from entering the U.S. for 90 days. It blocks refugees for 120 days. The policy is meant to give officials time to reevaluate screening procedures, but opponents say it is unconstitutional because it singles out Muslims. The president calls the latest sanctions against North Korea not a big deal. The president sought an oil embargo against the rogue regime and a total freeze on leader Kim Jong-un's international assets. Instead, the Security Council unanimously passed a watered-down version of his proposal.
I don't know if it has any impact, but certainly it was nice to get a 15-0 vote. But those sanctions are nothing compared to what ultimately will have to happen. We think it's just another very small step, not a big deal.
The resolution blocks natural gas imports, bans textile exports, and forbids countries from allowing North Koreans work overseas. The sanctions are in response to North Korea's nuclear tests last week and could cut more than $1.2 billion in revenue. Meanwhile, Secretary of Defense James Mattis is demonstrating America's nuclear superiority. He's visiting the Air Force Base in North Dakota, which has more than 100 land-based nuclear missiles and a fleet of bombers capable of delivering nuclear bombs to any place on the planet. The Justice Department says it will not bring federal charges against the officers involved in the death of Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray was the young black man who died in the back of a police transport wagon in the spring of 2015. Gray's death sparked citywide riots in Baltimore and a federal investigation into a pattern of misconduct in the Baltimore Police Department. The officers involved in his death were charged by the state but were later acquitted. 5 of the 6 officers face internal disciplinary hearings that are scheduled to begin October 30th. Still ahead, an alarming increase in deaths among middle-aged white women living in America's heartland. So, what is the culprit? We're going to explore that when we come back. Stay with us. People in the United States are living longer, many reaching the age of 79. But last year, lifespan statistics dropped for the first time in more than 2 decades. Researchers traced one major reason to what's happening in America's countryside. Lori Johnson brings us this eye-opening report.
America's heartland needs a lifeline. Instead of falling, death rates are actually rising, especially for middle-aged white women. Doctors point to obesity, smoking, and other causes.
Here in small-town America, folks are dealing with an alarming increase in deaths from accidental opioid overdoses from things like painkillers and heroin. Also, alcohol-related deaths and suicide.
In recent years, death rates rose a reported 30% among middle-aged white females living in rural areas. Elaine Vance grew up in a small coal mining town. She almost became one of those statistics.
I remember doing the first time I ever done heroin. I remember thinking, this might kill me. I may die. And then the longer I was in active addiction, I remember mixing it up in the spoon and just saying, I hope this kills me. I'm ready to die.
Hers is an unfortunate storyline. It begins with taking prescription pain medication and developing an addiction that ultimately leads to heroin.
What made you do the switch over?
The heroin was cheaper, for one thing. It was more powerful. You know, over time, you build up a tolerance.
At first, getting high helped escape painful emotions, in Elaine's case, from divorce and poverty. Then she couldn't stop.
It consumed my every thought. It dictated my every action.
Here in rural America, many opioid addictions begin rather innocently, starting with an injury from a car crash or an on-the-job accident where painkillers are prescribed.
Lynn Eldridge has treated addicts in rural West Virginia for more than 20 years. She says opioid abuse has exploded like nothing she's ever seen.
They may get hurt. They are put on a pain pill. It's OxyContin or it's hydrocodone, whatever it might be. And as they go through the prescribed usage of the drug, sometimes it will just, they'll say, I felt a little better when I was taking it. And then my neighbor had some left over and I decided to take hers. And then when that got difficult to get, I was introduced to somebody who had heroin.
Compared to the city, buying, selling, and even taking drugs in the country, well, that's easy.
You don't have to go on a street corner. You don't have to go into the shopping mall. You just go out onto a back road because there's nobody around to see you.
Despite the growing death toll, people can break free.
Detox, because you need to be detoxed professionally in a medical setting so that it can be handled in a safe way. One of the newest and best, it's a game-changing medication is Vivitrol. It's an injection that is received in the doctor's office, and it will take away the craving, and they get their life back.
While Elaine credits her recovery to detox and a 12-step program, she gives most of her victory to God.
I started getting to know Jesus, and I realized that the same power that rose him from the grave is what fights addiction, not me. I can't beat it. And once I realized that was the power fighting for me, I knew I was never, ever going back.
Elaine went to One Voice, a Christian outreach that offers addicts treatment referrals, food, clothing, friendship, and most importantly, the gospel.
God gives you an opportunity to choose life or choose death. And that's what we want to tell them. So we get to brag on God and tell them that if they want to see a difference in their life, that's really the only true way to do this.
That means a lot of prayer.
Yes, you light our path, God. You are our light in a dark world. Father, help us to be that light. Help us to be strong in you.
I needed their help. I needed their mentorship. I needed their prayers. I needed their suggestions and their advice. And most of all, I needed their love. And I received all that from them. And so now I just try to give that back. I try to be that person for the next me.
You don't have to be a former addict or even a trained professional to fight the war on drugs.
You can pray. You can also open up your church classrooms to do 12 steps. You can offer a day of testimony that the voices of recovery, those that have chosen to recover and do well, come and talk. Share their stories, give hope to the others.
So while substance abuse cuts short the lives of far too many, particularly in America's heartland, it's not a lost cause. Awareness and treatment, powered by the Spirit of God, are making a positive difference. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Up next, from football to film, War Room star T.C. Stallings is in Studio 5 with a playbook for life. T.C. Stallings went from a career in football to acting and starred in the film War Room. I sat down with him in Studio 5 this week to talk about his playbook for playing on God's team. Were you always playing on God's team?
Well, I think I was always on it, but I wasn't playing, definitely wasn't playing the way he called me to play. Mm-hmm. You know, I kind of liken it to, you know, when I went on my football team, I gave it all I had, but I can only imagine what my career would have been like is when I joined the team, if I'd have just sat at the bench and when the coach say get in the game, I'm like, nah, I'm good. When the coach say run this play, I'm like, nah, I ain't running it. And, you know, when the coach say learn this play, I'm like, I do what I want to do out there. That's more the type of player that I was being, you know, on God's team. I believed in my coach, you know, Jesus. I believed in him, but I wasn't letting him be Lord.
People hearing that will say, well, does this mean if I accept and make Jesus Lord of my life, that my life is going to be smooth sailing? And I know that's not the case. I mean, you experienced difficulty, brief bouts with homelessness. What were you thinking about the Lord and Savior of your life during those difficult times?
Well, for me, this is why I know your playbook. The Bible was so important in the game of life. I could point back to promises in Scripture that this is the road that I would be traveling, that it would, he says in this life you're going to have trouble. Mm-hmm. So that's a promise. Like, oh man, so I know it's coming. I don't know when, but I know it's coming. It also says in Scripture, you know, that anyone who chooses to live a godly life will be persecuted. That's a promise. And so I continue to look in the plays, in God's plan, it tells you it's going to be rough. But the thing is, what makes the smooth part about it is he has a provision for all of these things. It says, in this life you will have trouble, but it says, but take heart, I've overcome the world. You know, so I got a plan for you. And so for me, it's like, okay, all my bumps and bruises make sense. And that's the kind of life I want to live. I want to, you know, when playing on God's team and letting God lead your life, your bumps and bruises make sense. There's healings for those already ready. But as opposed to when I do my own thing, I'm hurting myself or people are hurting me. I may not even know why this is happening, but it's due to me pursuing my own plan, my own goal, my own dreams. And those things, there aren't provisions for those things. Mm-hmm. You better just hope you got enough grace to get you back to in the will of God and what he wants you to do. So it's I hang in there because I know that it's supposed to happen. That's why it's wrong and it's false to tell people that a life in Christ is smooth sailing, because they come in there with these false expectations of no issues, and that's not even biblical. So that's how I keep with it.
We began this segment looking at scenes of you on screen. You also had a professional athletic career, football player. How did you make the transition? Was acting always in you?
It was in me as a hobby. It was in me as fun. You know, in church where you go do the Sunday plays and the Easter plays. I used to love it. I was a guy that I like that kind of attention, to have fun doing the plays and stuff. But it wasn't something where, like, how football was a deep aspiration. Like, I want to go to NFL.
I want to go back in time for a second, if I can get this to work, and look at something that early on and see if you remember this and what you do remember.
Yep.
Next time on King of the Jungle, the newly crowned King of the Jungle, congratulations, will head out on his very own adventure.
And I'm about to see some crazy stuff.
Now see, once again, right, here we are. I'm on Animal Planet. This is 2005. Mm-hmm. And again, this is what I mean by fun. I'm in Louisville, the town I went to college. I had graduated, but I haven't played pro football for 4 years. And I see Animal Planet was just something I like to watch. And I see they're auditioning for a reality TV show. And I'm like, well, that's a fun way to spend your summer. So on a whim, I auditioned. And they picked me. I was just like, this is crazy. So in the middle of this, I had a decision to make. In the middle of my upcoming season, I decided, I'm like, well, how often do you get to go and do something like this? And I'm like, I didn't expect anything really from it, but I'm like, let me just go. And so in the middle of the season, they announced to the team that I was heading to Animal Planet to do a TV show and I'll be back. Wow. And lo and behold, I win the whole show.
Well, before we let you go, I know you've been busy in 2016 and we have at least 6 movies we could possibly look forward to in 2017.
Yeah.
I just want to give you the title and real quickly what you remember about it. If there's any updates you can give us real quick.
Okay.
A Question of Faith.
Yes, A Question of Faith. Great, great film. I actually just got a chance to screen it a little bit because I had to do what's called ADR, where you fill in some lines that didn't come too clear. So I got a chance to see some scenes. Shot that in Atlanta. Man, they did such a great job with this film. Kim Fields is in it. Richard T. Jones is in it. I think Thomas C. Howell is in it. And Greg Allen is in it. So it's a nice cast. It's a great cast.
Last one I'm going to mention, The Pastor.
The Pastor. The Pastor is I actually just wrapped up on that film. I play a detective in this film.
Pastor.
And and this pastor who just comes to a town. And he is helping to resurrect a church in a city that's really, really just ready to give up. And I'm like the only detective left that has some feeling that things could be better. So I'm battling crime, but this pastor has a very interesting way of even reaching some of the thugs in the city. He's not your everyday pastor. That's like the hint there. All of these are really good stories. And man, for me to be able to shoot 6 in 2016, was incredible. It was busy, but it was great. That's what I went there for. Nice. That's what he sent me there for.
Indeed. Well, it is always great to be in your company. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Thank you. And A Question of Faith is coming out real soon. Be sure to stay tuned to Studio 5 for your first look. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Time for your Wednesday Word, and today's word is available. Make yourself available to God and watch Him use you to do things you've never imagined. He isn't looking for the smartest, the richest, the prettiest, or even the most Bible-ready. He's looking for the available. So lift up your hands to Him today and open your heart with this prayer: Lord, I am available to you. Thanks for watching this edition of CBN NewsWatch. We appreciate your company. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.